Okay, for everyone that's been watching and everything, a little update here. It's a little windy, it's a little loud. However, I did finally get my truck, a truck, and here it is. I actually have to go around. I got it running right now to keep the battery up because my APU is out right now. It's not out, I have to do a little bit of work to it. But overall truck, good shape, good condition. Actually want to polish my wheels today. And again, I just wanted to show you that real quick. So, that is a 2002 International 9400i. I'm at the house right now. I actually just got back from being on the road, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit and kind of get you guys up to speed here. So let me get you back on the tripod. Just kind of wanted to show that to you, and making some update videos right now on a lot of stuff. So either way, I did get the truck. Hooray. Sorry for the lighting, it just went really dim outside. So I got the truck. Hooray. Everything is going as well as could be expected. Officially owner operator, yay. Which is a step that I've been trying to take for a while now. Just kept hitting road bumps, now being able to get where I wanted to be with that. But I did get it accomplished, and as I said, I just got back in off of the road from being gone for a month, and I did lease onto a company. I'm sure you probably saw the name on the side of the truck and everything. I was trying not to flash that around too much, but whatever, it really doesn't matter. I'm not worried about people hunting me down. I mean, I guess if you do, I apparently had it coming or something like that, but either way, yeah, the first month on the road really honestly kind of came on very quickly. I started talking to this gentleman that was selling the truck, and he just so happened to also have a company, and he said, I do ask one thing though, if you're purchasing, he gave me two prices on the truck. One was a rather hefty price that I was not going to pay for the truck, the year and the miles that were on it. Not that it's bad. It's a 2002 International 9400i, like I said, and it has a rebuilt C15 6NZ in it, and it has about 450,000 miles on it with the Pittsburgh power box inside. And it's a good running truck. It has a 13-speed. It runs, drives, handles great. It is a 2002 though. It does not have the DEF on it, which is good. However, it does have the ELD. But the ELD thing is not really a big deal to me. In fact, it saves me some paperwork. I don't really care. They don't bother me as much as they bother some people. Do I get the idea behind it? Yeah, I do. But either way, the truck itself, there's minor things that need to be done to it to get it, I guess, up to where I want it. As far as mechanically sound, it is very mechanically sound. In fact, the gentleman that I purchased it from, because he had a leaser in it before, he took it down to the shop, or actually had me take it down to the shop because I don't know, for whatever reason the other guy got out of it, but he had me take it down to the shop. He said, go find a local shop. I'll get the oil changed on it, have a general service done, get your PMs done, all that stuff. And since it wasn't you in the truck and I'll get it done, it'll be on my dime and we'll go from there. So I actually spoke with him for about, a solid month before actually jumping into the truck, because I want to go down and get it checked out, make sure everything was all good to go on it, and it was what he said it was, because the deal just seemed like, too good to be true. And I checked it out, and I mean, yeah, there's little catches in here and there, just like anywhere you're gonna go. But the overall deal on it, and rather than buying it outright and working for the guy, leasing to his company for 2 years to allow him to make a little bit more money off of me, rather than buying the truck flat out, it was a even and fair enough payoff. So I took that route and got the truck at a cheaper rate to allow him to make some money off of me. Which, again, it is what it is. It's business. You can't have it all the time. So I take 75% working with him, and out of the 25% that I'm paying, that includes my, what does it include? It included my ELD fees, my IFTA fees, so he actually combined a lot of things in there. It's not really relevant what was included in there. I'm getting 75%, he's getting 25%, but he did throw a couple of good things in there to make it worth my time, worth my while. And the grand scheme of things, what this is really about is, can you make money at this? In my first month out on the road, which was actually closer to like 3 weeks, was I impressed? I wasn't overly impressed with the amount of money that I made, but I certainly was not disappointed either. There was kind of some timing issues in there because I covered, Christmas and New Year's, so there was a bit of a slow period in there, almost a full week of being slow. I did still make money, but again, it was slow, and I had to sit for a couple of days, not because of anything other than there just wasn't anything moving. So I took what I could get, and that was that. But, without getting too far in and trying to make it sound like I'm bragging, because I'm not, because there's going to be some people that say, oh, that's all you made. Yeah, that's all I made for my first stab at it, and I don't feel that I did bad, but again, I didn't do overwhelmingly great. At the end of the story, I made about $12,000 total, and then took my fuel, all my fuel and all my bills and everything taken out of that $12,000, and coming home, I took home about $7,000. Just about. The numbers were shifted slightly the other way. It was like 11.9 what I took, and I ended up making almost 7 on the dot. It was like 690, 69.95 or something like that. So close. It was like right in there. So, overall, not great, super great. And this is pulling a dry van, by the way. But not super great, but that was like all my bills taken out, and that not just truck bills. I factored in like house bills, house maintenance, like electric, stuff like that. And I paid stuff along the way, and I have not been hurting for anything. I've not been wanting for anything. Thankfully enough, the truck ran as it was supposed to. I did have a couple of minor issues as far as I have a tire with a nail in it that was there that I could not get the gentleman to bite on and understand that it was flat before I took the truck into possession. But it's whatever. I figured it out. I'm not going to argue over one tire given the price that I've gotten the truck for, which was, again, it wasn't It wasn't incredibly great, it wasn't incredibly bad, but given the fact that it had a good motor in it that only had about 400 to 450,000 miles on it, that was with, and it has paperwork to back it up. It was a CAT certified rebuild. I just haven't sat down and figured out the exact mileage on the rebuild. I know it's in that window, but I gave 25 for the truck. And that, to me, basically, I bought an engine and a transmission, which just so happened to be attached to a truck with good, decent tires on it, and, wasn't leaking water or air everywhere. Has a great heater, has an APU on it. But the two issues that I did have was the APU is acting a little funny. It's an old Rigmaster. It's kind of a pain in the butt because every single sensor on the thing wants to set off and shut the thing down. And the nail in the tire, which I am currently working on right now. I'm going to head out here and it's a little windy, so I'm not going to polish wheels today unless it calms down. But I do need to look at the APU and get the tire fixed so it stops leaking air, because about every 2 days I was having to put air in that thing. But the overall running, I will say that when it all boiled down, not that I needed to do anything crazy to the truck while I was on the road, but I was monitoring things such as fuel economy, checking out like is there anything leaking while I'm driving. I did find one coolant leak, which was nothing major. It was something that was just leaking enough to take the coolant out of the system, but not enough to hit the ground so I'd notice it. And it was a couple of loose clamps and a worn out hose that does need to be replaced pretty quickly. So I stocked the truck up with coolant as well as oil. It did not use any oil while going out on the road, which was good. That definitely shows me that the engine is in pretty good condition as well. The oil actually still looks very new even after putting 10,000 miles on it. I need to get it changed here in about 5,000 miles. The overall month though, 3 weeks month out, especially given the timing of it, like I said, not overly impressed, but definitely not let down by what I made. But I spent a lot of my money back into the truck preparing for the next month out and trying to set back as much money as I possibly could, just because it was it was a pretty good experience. I actually got to run into a few friends by chance while I was out, and family members while I was out. Was, I guess, in my opinion, a good way to start the year, a good first run. I know they're probably not all going to go that smooth. The freight was definitely there. Everything was working. I'm not concerned about these companies that are folding up left and right, because that has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with the freight not moving. It has a lot to do with people that weren't, big companies that weren't paying attention to how much money they were spending. But that's a whole other topic altogether right there. So that is my initial take on the owner-operator thing. Very, very, brief, obviously. And I'm sure there's a lot more things I could hit on, but my first experience in hitting the road, I feel went, pretty darn good. I'm not let down by it. I encourage other people to do it. In fact, I think right now is probably, in my opinion and the opinion of a lot of other people, is probably the better time to be jumping in. There's a lot of trucks out on the market right now with these companies going under, and you can get some trucks for a steal. You can get a newer truck than what I have for probably the same or better price right now. The reason why I went with the one that I did, because of the terms on it, the price was decent enough. It had a good engine that had a fairly recent rebuild on it, and it was proven through everything that I had seen. Also, it does not have DEF on it, so that helps me. And actually, I do believe if I add a filter to it, I can probably get into California for the next, I don't know, like a year to a year and a half or something like that. But that's not really a goal of mine. So, but I can travel everywhere else in the United States for the most part. So I don't really care. I've been staying Midwest anyway. But that is the truck outside idling. I've got the refrigerator plugged in, and I just want to make sure my batteries are staying maintained, and I'm, keeping the fluids and stuff rolling around in the truck, and it's not incredibly cold, so I'm not worried about the fuel gelling up or anything like that. As you can see, I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts right now. But again, I'll give you some more updates. If I think of anything else, I'll put it out. I just wanted to share with everyone that's been watching, following, friends, and all that that's been helping me along the way and kind of pointing me in the right direction. I did finally get the truck. I am very excited to be out on the road doing my own thing. I've got about another four days before I go back out on the road. I'm just sitting here at the house and hanging out with the kids. They're at school right now, and just kind of handling the house and doing life, man. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will keep you up to date on everything that's going on and let you know how it's all going. So far, so good. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.